Parties. I don't like them. And I know you, yes, you watching, you either agree or disagree, or you're not paying attention. And if you disagree, I'm not here to argue with you. Heck no. I'm here to convert you to the other side. Cause no matter how much you like partying, I know one thing that's gonna change your perspective. Seeing a party from a waiter's perspective. You see, my mom works as a chef, so if you watched my last video and wondered, what the hell's with this guy in cakes? Well, now you know what's behind that. Anyways, because my mom works as a chef, working a party isn't a new experience. And with years of party experience in the bag, take it from me. Parties aren't always fun for waiters. In fact, sometimes they can get really brutal. Especially when you waiter a party in a country like mine. I can remember that one party that really conveyed the level of brutality in full detail. You know, I said earlier that my mom works as a chef? Well, she had just gotten this huge job, right? She was gonna get paid to manage all the food related matters at a party. I think it was a wedding. Yeah, I can't really remember because it usually isn't any of my business. So no matter how much my mom was willing to pay me to serve at a party, considering my unappealing perspective of parties and the fact that sometimes she doesn't even pay in full, and if you're lucky, she wouldn't even pay you at all. Yeah, I'm not interested. So she usually hires two of my older brothers, two other dudes from around the neighborhood, and three girls who I really didn't know much. But on the very day they've reserved to serve at the party, one of the dudes from around the neighborhood decided to bail on the rest of the team. Without any form of warning. Yep, that nigga flaked, and as a last minute counter move, they decided to put me in his place. Of course I said no, but in these kind of situations, no one gives a damn about your opinion. So I ended up following them and serving at the party. It seemed like a normal, harmless, festive gathering when we got there, but everything seems normal and harmless until it's not. The major source of all hardships at the party was the food. You see, food is a huge factor that affects what your party is gonna look like in Nigeria. I know it's like that all over the globe. I mean, everyone knows it's only customary to present guests with edible items as a form of entertainment. But Nigerians, we take it to a whole other level. Like the concept that people here have of parties is when you go to one, when you attend a party, you have to come back home with a filled up belly and souvenirs. And those souvenirs have food packed in them. It's like tradition. So no matter how much you decorate your parties, it's trash in the eyes of the guests who didn't get served. That's why we always offer a big feast at every party. And even though I don't like parties, this is why you'd find me at a lot of them.
I'm all about that buffet, boy.
We were fully aware of the importance of food at this event, but we still chose to ignore it. For some reason. Okay, we were all set up at the back of the event even before the ceremony got underway. But for some weird reason, some old dude walks up to us, I guess one of the hosts, and he told us not to serve the food yet. So yeah, we listened to him and we delayed the serving of the food. Yeah, we shouldn't have listened to that guy because it was easy to tell that the majority of the guests were there for the food. Nothing more. Like, these people don't give a damn if the DJ gets kidnapped or something. Honestly, no one would have cared if anything had happened to that guy anyways. His music was just garbage. I don't know who hired him or what he was gonna get paid Probably a free meal. Anyways, it made no sense to delay the serving of the food in a party filled with people like me. How did I know they were like me? Well, that's simple. Even before we were done setting up the food stand, like a lot of people came and tried to get served. And that right there, my friend, is just food squad mentality. Like the old saying goes, first come, first serve.
But why is it all about the food? Why is it all about the...
Cause it's free. Since no one came around to give us the okay to start the serving of the food, we just had to wait. And within that time frame that we delayed the whole foods thing, a lot of guests started to get a little impatient, and that was gonna be a problem. The way the whole party was arranged made it so that there was no form of barrier between us and the mob. So all they just had to do was turn their heads and boom, target acquired. I even spotted a lot of them who came with their own plates. So there was like zero reasons to not serve them yet. Hey, what's up with that food? We don't have any plates. Yeah, that's right. The plates are on the way, so if you could just be... I got my plate right here, so give me that food. And that led us to realize what we were dealing with. We had a different audience in mind. When I and everyone else agreed to serve at the party, the picture I had in my head was one of a higher status gathering. You know, like a cultured gathering of the finest ladies and gentlemen. But it was nothing even close to that. Those people were savages. After a while, we decided we don't care what the hosts say, and we're just gonna start dishing out the food. But things did not start to get any better when we started. Cause what do you get when it makes a bunch of inexperienced waiters, a crap ton of angry Nigerian guests, and some incompetent hosts? Yep, you guessed it. Disaster. We just couldn't handle all the guests. Our initial plan was to hand out business cards, but when we got a glimpse of their violent nature, on second thought, forget the business cards. Because if you approach a table here and you don't have food in your hands and all you have is a business card, they gon' bite your arm off. Okay, that might have been a little exaggerated. No one had their arm bit off, but we didn't try to give anyone business cards because that wasn't a risk anyone was willing to take. We observed the situation and made a plan to just run around and serve as many people as possible. Of course that didn't work. We got exhausted after like 7 minutes, and there was like 7 of us. No, we weren't lazy. Okay, maybe a little bit, but they outsmarted us. They noticed we weren't like taking notes of the tables we've served yet, so they took that to their advantage. Hey, you haven't served me yet. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. I've been to this table like 17 times. I know your face, you thieving son of a... For the duration of the party, I don't think I got the chance to just inhale and exhale without having to yell at a person. And the perfect little pain cherry on the ice cream sundae of stress were the shoes I was wearing. I wasn't allowed to wear my shoes because the only footwear I had at the time were these Timberland boots. And apparently they were too inappropriate. So my brother borrowed me his black sneakers, which were obviously too small for me. But I didn't want to be a burden, so I squeezed my feet into them, and I thought I could bear it. Then out of nowhere, in the middle of the party, came cramps. My toes were literally begging for mercy. My boots would have been perfect for that party. First, no cramps, and second, it would have been the ultimate tool for controlling crazy guests. I mean, have you seen these shoes? I don't know the motive of the company manufacturing these shoes, but if it's for you to hurt people, it's done a job well done. But there was no boot, no order, and things were tough. It got to an extent when they couldn't remain on their seats anymore, and a lot of them decided to come to the food stand and yell at us.
Does anyone have a pair of boots I could borrow?
Since we couldn't deep six these people with violence, we tried to handle the situation like rational people. We tried to talk to them until a lady decided to make the wrong move. She tried to forcefully collect the serving spoon from my mom's hand. You see that face? It means you just messed up. Big time. That whole ordeal was enough to trigger my mom, and she did what we should have done a long time ago. She yelled at them really loud, and they left us alone. That was it. We pretty much just chilled and did nothing until the party ended, and when it did, we said goodbye to the hosts and the old dude from earlier. You're so lucky I don't have my Timberlands on. When I got home that day, I decided no matter who doesn't show up when they're supposed to, or how much my mom promises to pay that she doesn't eventually pay, parties are off the list. So I guess the moral of the story is don't go to parties. Isn't it don't serve at parties? No. Don't go to parties. Ever. But if you're gonna, wear Timberlands.